Every fortune begins with a single idea. Welcome to Mind Capital. Imagine a place where the world's richest families, powerful governments, and global corporations have trusted their fortunes for generations. Hidden beneath these silent mountains lies a system built not on gold, but on trust. But how did it all begin? At first glance, Switzerland seems like an ordinary country. No empire, no vast natural resources, no coastline connecting it to the world. By every rule of history, it should have remained small and forgotten. Switzerland has no vast oil fields, no endless gold mines, no empire that conquered the world. Yet somehow, the richest people on earth chose this small nation to protect fortunes worth trillions. But the answer wasn't hidden inside vaults. It was written centuries earlier. While kingdoms fought wars and empires rose and fell, Switzerland was quietly building something far more valuable than gold: trust. Before Switzerland became the safest place on earth for wealth, Europe was a continent ruled by war, kingdoms collapsed, borders changed overnight, and every fortune lived just one battle away from disappearing forever. Europe's wealth was always moving. Gold, silver, and fortunes crossed mountains and kingdoms every single day. But every journey carried the same terrifying question: would the treasure ever reach its destination? A single ambush could erase a lifetime of wealth in just minutes. Gold could be stolen, lives could be lost. In medieval Europe, the greatest treasure wasn't money. It was finding a place where it could finally be safe. Even if your gold survived the roads, it wasn't truly yours. Kings could seize fortunes, raise crushing taxes, or fund another war overnight. In medieval Europe, wealth was never beyond the reach of power. Yet even as Europe burned, trade never stopped. Every day, merchants moved fortunes across the continent. Wealth kept growing, but finding a place safe enough to protect it became the greatest challenge of all. A new idea was changing Europe forever. Wealth no longer had to travel hidden inside wagons of gold. Great banking houses promised security and trust, but no vault was strong enough to protect a fortune from war, ambitious kings, or political power. While Europe fought endless wars for land, power, and gold, a small nation hidden in the Alps chose a very different path. It wasn't building an empire. It was quietly building trust, the foundation of everything that would come next. History would soon prove that the strongest fortress was never built from stone. It was built from trust. And hidden among these quiet mountains, Switzerland was about to change the future of money forever. Everything changed in the summer of 1291. Three small mountain communities made a promise that would outlive kings, wars, and empires. They chose loyalty over fear, and trust became the foundation of a nation unlike any the world had ever seen. Their promise was more than words. It became a way of life. Neighbors protected neighbors. Merchants crossed the mountains without fear. In a world built on betrayal, the Swiss were quietly proving that trust could become their greatest strength. Word began to spread across Europe. In the heart of the Alps, there was a place where agreements were honored, travelers were protected, and a person's word still carried real value. Trust was becoming Switzerland's greatest reputation. Trust was never given freely. It had to be earned, protected, and proven every single day. As merchants returned home safely, they carried more than gold across Europe. They carried stories of a nation whose word could be trusted. People don't follow mountains, they follow trust. More merchants arrived each year, not because Switzerland was rich, but because it was reliable. And that reputation would soon become more valuable than gold itself. Something extraordinary was beginning to happen. People weren't leaving their wealth in Switzerland because they were forced to, they were choosing to. Year after year, promise after promise, trust became the nation's most valuable treasure. Across Europe, one story spread from merchant to merchant, from king to king. In a world divided by war and ambition, Switzerland earned something no army could conquer: the trust of an entire continent. Empires built their power through conquest. Switzerland chose a different path. It earned something no army could ever seize: trust. And before long, that trust would become the most valuable currency in the world. Trust brought the world's wealth to Switzerland, but one promise transformed confidence into obsession: absolute silence. Inside these walls, fortunes disappeared from public view, and history would never look at banking the same way again. One by one, Europe's wealthiest families began moving their fortunes across the Swiss border. Gold, bonds, and priceless assets followed the same path. They weren't chasing higher profits. They were buying something far more valuable: privacy. Then came the moment that changed global finance forever. In 1934, Switzerland turned banking secrecy into law. Revealing a client's financial information became a criminal offense, making Swiss banks the safest financial sanctuary on earth. The message spread across the world. Wealthy families, powerful businesses, and influential leaders all turned to Switzerland. Its banks had become more than financial institutions. They had become the world's most trusted vault. The world was no longer just watching Switzerland. It was questioning it. News reports spread across continents as governments and journalists searched for answers hidden behind the country's legendary banking secrecy. Pressure continued to build. Governments demanded greater transparency, while Switzerland defended the privacy that had defined its banks for generations. The debate had become about trust, power, and the future of global banking. Switzerland adapted to a changing world without abandoning its greatest strength. While the rules evolved, one principle remained unchanged. Trust was still the country's most valuable asset and the foundation of its financial power. Banking secrecy helped shape Switzerland's history, but trust became its greatest legacy. Wealth can move across borders overnight, yet lasting financial power is built on confidence earned over generations. That is Switzerland's true secret. In 1914, Europe was consumed by war. Nations turned their guns against one another. Borders collapsed, economies crumbled, and millions of lives were changed forever. The continent had descended into chaos. Yet in the heart of Europe, one small nation chose a different path. While the continent was tearing itself apart, Switzerland remained neutral. It was a decision that would change not only its future, but the future of global finance. As war spread across Europe, security became priceless. Families, businesses, and governments moved their wealth to a country untouched by the fighting. Switzerland was no longer just neutral. It was becoming the world's safest haven. Inside Switzerland's banks, trust became the world's most valuable currency. Every fortune that arrived strengthened the nation's reputation. In a world filled with uncertainty, Switzerland offered something priceless: trust. Just 20 years later, Europe faced another catastrophe. The Second World War threatened to consume the continent once again. Surrounded by conflict on every side, Switzerland faced its greatest test. Could neutrality survive another war? As war spread across Europe, confidence became rare. While uncertainty ruled beyond its borders, Switzerland continued to offer stability, security, and discretion. Year after year, the world's trust in Swiss banks grew stronger. When the war finally ended, Europe faced the enormous task of rebuilding, but one nation had preserved something the world desperately needed: trust. That trust would soon become the foundation of one of the most powerful financial systems in history. The wars changed Europe forever, but they also changed Switzerland forever. While nations rebuilt what had been destroyed, Switzerland strengthened what mattered most: trust. And in the world of finance, trust would become more valuable than gold. After the war, the world searched for something that could never lose its value. For centuries, that symbol had been gold. Yet even gold needed one thing above all else: trust. And there was only one place the world truly believed in. The answer was never hidden beneath the mountains. It was built over centuries: neutrality, stability, precision, trust. Long before the world's gold arrived, Switzerland had already earned the confidence of the world. Gold arrived from every corner of the world. It crossed oceans, borders, and continents before reaching Switzerland. Every shipment carried more than precious metal. It carried the confidence that it had reached the safest hands on earth. Behind these steel doors rested more than extraordinary wealth. Every gold bar represented a promise: protected by a nation trusted across generations. Here, trust was carefully guarded with the same precision as the gold itself. Switzerland became far more than a secure vault. It became the place where much of the world's gold was refined to the highest standards. Here, every bar was transformed with remarkable precision before continuing its journey across the globe. Today, much of the world's gold passes through Switzerland. It arrives from distant mines, is refined with unmatched precision, and continues to banks, investors, and markets across the globe. Few nations have earned such trust. Gold helped make Switzerland wealthy, but wealth alone never built its reputation. The world's greatest treasure was never hidden inside its vaults. It was the trust those vaults inspired, generation after generation. Gold built an empire of trust, but the future of wealth would no longer rest inside underground vaults. A new financial revolution was already beginning, one that would challenge everything the world believed about money, power, and value itself. Centuries passed, yet one thing never changed. Switzerland remained the place where the world chose to protect its wealth. Today, that legacy lives on, as the heart of global finance beats stronger than ever in the streets of modern Zurich. Behind these walls, fortunes are not simply stored, they are carefully managed. Investors, families, and institutions from around the world trust Swiss financial experts to protect and grow their wealth for generations. Why do the world's wealthiest families and institutions still choose Switzerland? Not because it promises the highest returns, but because trust, stability, and discretion cannot be measured on a balance sheet. Those values are earned over generations. Trust is never built overnight. It is earned through decades of stability, discipline, and consistency. For generations, Switzerland protected not only wealth, but something far more valuable: the confidence of the world. But the world is changing. Artificial intelligence, digital currencies, and blockchain are reshaping finance faster than ever before. The greatest question is no longer who protects wealth, but what the future of money will become. The next financial revolution has already begun. It won't be defined by the size of a vault, but by the power of technology, artificial intelligence, and the speed of innovation. The future of money is no longer approaching, it has already arrived. For centuries, nations believed that wealth was built with gold, power, or armies. But history tells a different story. Every lasting financial empire began with something far more valuable than money itself: the trust of the people. The greatest lesson was never about Switzerland alone. It is about every nation, every business, and every person. Lasting success is not built on shortcuts, but on trust, discipline, and a vision that reaches beyond a single generation. The future belongs to those who embrace innovation without forgetting the lessons of history. Technology will transform the world, but trust will always remain the foundation of every lasting economy and financial system. In the end, the greatest investment was never gold, money, or power. It was the ability to earn trust, inspire confidence, and leave behind a legacy that would guide and inspire generations long after we are gone. This was never just the story of Switzerland. It was the story of how trust became the world's most valuable currency. Because the future belongs to those who earn trust. This is Mind Capital.